wondered what the term supply chain means? Well, did you know that doTERRA has one and it plays a key role in turning this to this? Delivering your family the highest quality essential oils requires 4 words: supply chain scorecard. Welcome to this Throw It Out Thursday Continuing Education Broadcast Express. By the time this quick broadcast is over, you will know 3 things: what the heck a supply chain is, what the doTERRA supply chain scorecard means, how it works, how it's evaluated, and lastly, quickly, how our current growers are doing. And tonight we are flexing our label reading gangster muscle and peeling back the layers and just scratching the surface on this topic, which is yet another facet in doTERRA's pursuit of carbon neutral operations by 2030 and doing more with less. So grab your slipper socks, grab your family, snuggle in as we continue the journey behind the bottle. So what is a supply chain? Well, because you know Mama Hills loves to add a little Miss Frizzle flair, let's use this chain as an example. So simply put, a supply chain is the network of facilities and processes that deliver a product or a service to a customer. And as it relates to doTERRA, that includes everything from the raw materials and plants to the end customer, which is you and your oils. And the goal of a supply chain is to efficiently and effectively deliver. And a supply chain is divided into 4 main stages: procurement, or the process of acquiring the raw materials and other inputs needed to process the oils; manufacturing, or the process of converting the raw materials into the finished products; distribution, or the procuring and the process of getting the finished products to you and your family; and then lastly, customer service, or the process of providing support to you after you've made your purchase. And a supply chain can be pretty complex, but the key takeaway here is that for doTERRA, each link in the chain or supplier is important for the overall strength and function of this entire process, to the product and to the planet. And the supply chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And that requires coordination, collaboration, communication, and teamwork between all the parties involved in the network to ensure a smooth performance and efficient operations all the way from start to finish. So how does doTERRA evaluate the performance of their supply chain? Well, definitely with a Flair pen. And in 2020, the doTERRA sourcing team conducted an extensive evaluation of all our supply chains. And we cannot improve what we don't measure, right? So we teach our kids have measurable goals. This is the same. And this evaluation is a powerful tool for making sure that we continue to source the best and help the most. And because doTERRA is dedicated to a transparent and ethical supply chain, Coimpact sourcing builds stable livelihoods and supports the overall health and wellness of the communities directly where our oils are sourced all around the world. And sourcing is truly the heartbeat of our company. Without that system of checks and balances, important information can slip by with extreme consequences. So the consistent and close contact the company has with our on-the-ground sourcing partners has given doTERRA good visibility into our supply chains, but there is always room for improvement, and the goal is to evaluate every single oil supply chain at least twice by the year 2030 to ensure that ethical standards are being met across all of our supply chains. So how does this scorecard work? Well, doTERRA supply partners have to reach 100% compliance across all the mandatory scorecard indicators to be eligible for an official Coimpact sourcing status, or CIS. And the silver level recognizes supply chains that are meeting the Coimpact sourcing expectations. The gold and diamond recognize levels of partners who have invested significant additional resources, time, and effort and fine-tuning to their supply chains to a level of excellence. And the CIS silver means the partner has achieved 100% mandatory compliance and 50 to 70% compliance with the additional scored indicators. Gold means the partner has achieved 100% mandatory compliance and 71 to 90% compliance of all the additional scored indicators. And then diamond means the partner has achieved 100% mandatory compliance and at least 91% compliance for all additional indicators. And the first evaluation just takes a baseline measurement, right? So that lets us see where a supplier needs improvement. After working through any of their weak links of a supplier's evaluation, they will be evaluated again. And if the score isn't high enough for them to earn the Coimpact sourcing or CIS status, then doTERRA will determine whether or not to continue to work with this supplier and bring their score up or not. So doTERRA is proud to partner with supply chains that meet the silver level or above. And achieving a Coimpact sourcing status means that the supply chain is either meeting or exceeding the industry standards of ethical and sustainable sourcing practices. And doTERRA partners have built their supply chains to standards of excellence in ways like measuring and reducing greenhouse gases, using renewable energy sources, and conducting socioeconomic surveys. So here are a few samples of Coimpact sourcing scorecard indicators just to give you an idea of what they look like. So one example is, do they keep accurate records of the hours worked and the payments given for all their employees and temporary workers in their supply chain? Another one is another example is, are their supply chain growers and harvesters all documenting their agricultural inputs that they are using to produce their biomass? Another example is, are they harvesting with the processes through the supply chain that follow sustainability requirements? And then the last one is, what percentage of energy used by their entire supply chain comes from renewable sources? And these are just a few examples. And then the Coimpact Sourcing Evaluation Program is unique to doTERRA. It's not just interested in, oh, let's just assign a label to our supply chain partners. The company is actively invested in helping them improve their supply chains when it comes to ethics and sustainability. And in 2022, last year, doTERRA awarded $100,000 to improve 29 essential oil supply chains as part of the Coimpact Sourcing Challenge Fund, which is a collaborative doTERRA-owned program designed to help partners improve their supply chain evaluation scores. And with the fund, doTERRA supports sourcing partners that want to identify areas where they can improve, and they can develop a detailed plan for success. And doTERRA even funds up to 75% of the cost needed to implement the success plan. And as a company, investing in partners who share our priorities is crucial. And when everyone in the supply chain succeeds, we all win, and that is a true strategic partnership. And now, last but not least, it's report card time. So how is doTERRA doing? Well, the goal for 2030, as I mentioned, is to evaluate all of our essential oil supply chains twice, which means a baseline and then a follow-up, and achieve 95% silver, 55% gold, and 35% diamond by the follow-up on the second rating. And at Leadership Retreat earlier this spring, we got the updated data on the progress made in 2022. So currently, 76 supply chains were evaluated to date. That's about 33%, with 55 of those evaluations complete in 2022, and there are 29 evaluations currently in progress. So stay tuned for more on this conversation, more on this topic. This is truly just scratching the surface as we inch closer to 2030, and we will continue checking back on this, and I will be sharing more data as it is provided. I hope you enjoy pulling back the curtain as much as I do and knowing what is behind there and what separates doTERRA's level of effort from all the other essential oil companies in the world. And I hope this was helpful to start understanding the global impact that doTERRA is making and committed to making for us through these beautiful bottles. And I am here holding space for you, partnering in your progress. Reach out or tap the link in my Instagram profile to get started with your doTERRA journey and take advantage of a free Copaiba this month. I can't wait to connect with you and help you start to create a brand new chapter where you have all the pieces of this wellness puzzle in your toolbox, and you can make a global impact along the way through your own conscious consumerism. And I want to hear from you now. I want to know, what do you think about these updates? Does this change the way that you perceive doTERRA, knowing the lengths that we are going to ensure transparency and quality for you? Drop an emoji down below or comment with how you feel. And as always, share this information with any of your friends that could find this valuable. A few little housekeeping items. Stay tuned for my next education broadcast on Thursday, June 15th, streaming on demand as always. And that is a wrap on broadcast 242. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I will see you soon.